Hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, as always, I'd like to start off giving all honor and glory, infinite praise and worship to our power, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostle, elder bishops, great millstone, rule well, peace, citation to the hopeful elect. Hey, it's your brother HAQADASH, representing GMS branch here in Cleveland, Lord willing, to bring out an edifying, quick, and edifying testimony through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. And I just wanted to give a quick testimony, man, because you know, this is Revelations 9, and Revelations 9 Revelation 9 goes into, you know, World War I, World War II, you know, and I remember in class, me and the brothers was going over this, you know, again in class, and I had made mention about my grandfather serving in the military, and my father's father, right? He was in World War I or II, I can't remember. Salakia, I can't remember. But I know my grandfather fought in World War II, if I'm not mistaken, or World War I. It was one of the two. But nonetheless, my family, come to find out, my uncle, a couple of my great uncles and things like that served in the military. Like, my uncle had PTSD. I think that's the right way to say that, PTSD. Every time he heard fucking loud noises, my father said he would hit the ground and shit, thinking people were shooting and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's what you get from the wars, the trauma from the wars, right? And yeah, post-traumatic distress, if I'm not mistaken. And I made the statement that my grandfather fought in the war, and it didn't sit right with me. So I all this time, the spirit jumped on me again just to reconfirm it, because I heard it from my aunts. And yesterday, I reconfirmed it with my father, and I was like, you know, the Joe father fighting the war, you know what I'm saying, World War II or whatever, you know, and yeah, he was like, yeah, he did. And I was like, wow, man, that's crazy, man. I was like, call YAHAWASHI, because you know, that's in the Bible, man. And that's why I got Revelations 9 on the screen, because Lord willing, we are part of that hopeful electful number, man. Because at the end of the day, like I always say, once it's all said and done, it'll all make sense. How you feel, the way you think, the way you move, how you deal, you know what I'm saying, the spirit that you got, it'll all make sense if we are a part of that hopeful electful number, man. And my grandfather, it's crazy because my grandfather passed away by a heart attack when I was 2 years old. You know what I'm saying? My father was born in like he was born in when Martin Luther King got killed, so 1968. My father was born in 1968, so obviously, and my father is the second to youngest out of like 6 or 7 children. You know what I'm saying? All females and two, my uncle and my father, 2 boys, like 7 children, if I'm not mistaken. All right, 6, 7 children, something like that. And then, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was World War I, World War II. But when you read this scripture right here, Revelations 9, it proves my testimony right now. And I'm of course, I'm not the only brother, obviously, right? You got a lot of men that's teaching this truth, who family served in the war and was preserved so that we can come into the world to teach the truth, man. And this is the scripture. When you go to Revelations 9, and we can start at 4. I'm going to just read 4 and 5 real quick. It says, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of the Most High in their foreheads. Right? Because the fighter jets are them planes that was in the air. All right, at that time, I believe in Europe, they were shooting down men. All right, they were fucking aiming down people. Okay, that's why I said hurt not the grass and things like that, because they were shooting down people. And it says that have not the seal of the Most High on their forehead, because, like Apostle Tara mentioned before, it don't matter what they did, those individual men, no matter what they did, they will be preserved. Okay, their lives will be preserved. And that's what happened with my grandfather. My grandfather didn't have no missing legs and missing limbs and all of that. And it's crazy because, like I said, he passed away from a simple heart attack, which ain't simple, but he fought in a whole ass war with guns blazing and blood, sweat, and tears. And here it is, he died from a simple heart attack. You know what I'm saying? Showing you that the Lord don't make mistakes. And also too, my father crashed into he crashed into a hospital, not a hospital, he crashed into a church. And when he crashed into the church, he looked up and saw a cross lit up. He said that's one of the only things he remembered. And he said when he looked in the back, he had a cutlass, his back seat was in the front seat. And he said his chest hit the steering wheel, it split the chest, his chest hit the steering wheel so hard it broke the steering wheel, opened his chest wide open, and his side of his face was wide open. His skin from his chin was open to the top of his head, to the top of his head, man. You know, they had to take skin from his behind and stitch it back like that, pull it down. You know, that's how messed up he was. And that was right before I was born as well. The doctor said if he would have smoked, he would have died. You know, he fell asleep dropping my mom off back in the day when they were young, man. You know, and yeah, he said he looked down. He remembered getting out the car. He thought he was peeing on himself. He looked down, was a bunch of blood coming down his leg. That's when he started to panic. Then he fell out. This is what he said he remembered. You know, when you have traumatic experiences, sometimes you remember those moments, certain moments. And he fell down. He said nobody was in sight. It was early in the morning, 5, 6 in the morning. And nobody was in sight. Back in the day, you know, niggas really went outside like in 5 or 6 in the morning. They would sleep getting ready for work or whatever. And he said, well, nobody outside, man. He said, next thing you know, he fell down, and out of nowhere, this dude came out of nowhere and said, hey, man, you need help, man. What's going on, man? You need help. And then he went to go pick him up. He said, oh, man, where you live at, man? He said, you know, he threw him in the car. He said, where you live at, man? Now, why wouldn't the man take him to the hospital? Because the man wasn't a regular man. The man was an angel, man. He said, my father said he believed he was his guardian angel. And I believe so, too, because he picked him up, put him in the car. He said, where do you live at? Where do you live? He said he was dragged. You know, you see that scene on I Am Legend when the chick saved him from getting beat down from them zombies, and Will Smith hit his head, and he was woozy looking up and looking down. She was like, where do you live? Where do you live? He was like, right? That's how my father was. And he said, next thing you know, his father, my grandfather at the time, well, at the time, but my grandfather, his father, and his mother, my grandmother, they both are, if I'm not mistaken, I know my grandmother for sure is a Gadite. My grandfather is iffy. He's either Gadite for sure, or he's either Judah. My grandmother's name was Moses. I mean, not Moses. My grandmother's last name was Cheeks, right? That's a Gadite name. And come from down south and shit. All my people come from down south. And she, they grabbed my father, put him on the couch. When they turned around and go thank the man, he was gone. Why didn't the man take him to the hospital? Because it wasn't a regular man. So bringing that back home, you know, that my father crashed into a church before I was born, and my grandfather fought in World War II or World War I, one of the two, before I was born as well, and before my father was born, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Obviously before my father was born. You know what I'm saying? And just to prove like the scriptures is true, man. You gotta believe the scriptures because they true. I am literally, and many other brothers, I'm sure, of course, because that's the prophecy, are living testimonies of this verse right here and many other verses. All right, that, you know, the Lord will preserve us, all right, so that we can do his bidding. And that's what you see here, man. That's why it says in Revelation 9 again at the bottom, but only those men which have not the seal of the Most High on their foreheads, man. Everybody got beat down in that time, man. And the ones that didn't, some of those men were preserved, not all of them, right? Well, a lot of those men were preserved so that they can have children, so they can have sons and children, sons and another son and another son. And that would be my grandfather having my father, and that would be my father having me. And to them, it was given that they should not kill them, right? Destroy their nation. Because if they would have killed, if my grandfather would have died in the war, my father or me would not have been born. So his life was preserved. So the nation, like, the nation wasn't killed off in a sense, so you can understand. But it says, but that they should be tormented 5 months. That 5 months is representing 5 years. This is dealing with World War I. I think that was from 1914 to 1919, something like that. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. So I just wanted to get this quick testimony, man. You know, I wasn't really going. I didn't want to do no video on it, but I said, you know, it could edify somebody, and you know, and that's what we do it for the elect, to get the elect hope and keep their mind strong and, you know, in faith, because these times are dark and our faith get, you know, your flesh flare up, and you know, you start to question certain things because the flesh start to try to take your mind off the mission. But our faith is stronger than these things. Our spirit is stronger than these things, which allows us to overcome the flesh. And in these videos help with that. They aid in that. They exhort and they edify and they build up, which means edify means to build up. So I just wanted to get this quick testimony because, yeah, my grandfather fought in the war. You know, whether it was World War I, World War II, through the spirit, like, it still applied because he fought in the war. He fought in that war. Like, those are two major wars. Those are two major wars that the Bible speak of. Wars World War I, Wars War II, and here we come into Wars III. Okay, that's not gonna be fought with swords and tanks, and you know, it's gonna be fought with nuclear missiles, man. So these wars are very important. They're very prophetic, all right, and they're very important to the stages in which these empires was established, because after every war came a new system, a new currency, or some type of new format to this man's government and so forth, man. Okay. And yeah, man, I just wanted to get that quick testimony. Lord willing, is edifying. Like to give all honor and glory, infinite praise and worship to our power, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostle of the Bishop's Great Millstone. Peace, citation to the hopeful elect. Until next time, Mwah, blah, 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 blah. Shalom.